welcome to the Executive Mom Show. This show is for working moms to give you some inspiration for your busy work week ahead. Today's topic is how to be classy at work. This is part 2. We're going to talk about the demeanor or behavior. So part 1 was physical, because that's what you see first. This is part 2, the behavior, and then part 3 are going to be things that every classy working mom needs. I want to be clear, I am not all of these things. I don't do all these behaviors, but I very much aspire to have these behaviors and act this way. And I got most of this is all my opinion, and it's very much based on female executives that I have worked with who have really inspired me, or I just appreciate how they have behaved, and it makes me want to be a better woman. So hopefully this will help in the same way. Okay, tip number 1. If you get upset at work, call your mom. Call your mom. She wants to hear about it. Not your boss, not your coworker, not your HRBP. If you have a trusted friend at work, you could do that. I have a trusted friend who I very much appreciate, but she's busy. She's a working mom too. She's busy, and sometimes bothering her with my personal issues is not really the best use of her time. However, she is a friend, so she is there if I ever need her, and it is helpful to have someone at work who kind of understands the context. However, your mom is great. Call your mom. When my daughter grows up, I can't wait to hear from her. I want to hear about your work fiascos and how upset you are, but nobody else does. So call your mom. So that means, big picture here, we're trying to keep our cool at work. Okay. Most of the time, wild emotions are not productive at work. And women have this awful stereotype tied to them that we are just emotionally just out of control, which is not true. We should have emotions, and you should have a reaction to things. However, when you're at work, think about what is most productive for this company and for this team. We are not, we're not here for me. This is not about me. If I'm upset about something, that's not why we're here, right? We're here for some goal for the company and for the team. So get on that bus. And if you're not ready to get on that bus, you can step on the sidewalk and just call your mom real quick and get yourself together to go to work. So don't make your personal issues a problem for your company. You want to keep your personal life. It might be in disorder. That's great, but you need to just put it together for work, or at least show up and not have it be an issue at work. Number 2 is grace. When I think of grace, I actually think of Grace Kelly. What a great name she's got. Good for her. She's graceful. I think of a nice voice. Don't yell or be loud. I also think of How You Walk, that movie with Sandra Bullock, Miss Congeniality, when she's like learning how to glide gracefully. Practice a little bit of grace in how you move. I find ballet excellent exercise. I love doing ballet because, number 1, it's hard and you have to be smart. You got to do all these movements and your arms and your posture and your feet, and oh my gosh, there's so much to think about. You want a good brain workout, do ballet. But it also teaches you how to move your body gracefully and lovely. So ballet is a great tip there too. If you're interested. Most people aren't interested, but if you are, it's a good one. Number 3, manners. This is a huge, big bucket. I think most of us know these things, but be polite and respectful. Say please, thank you, you're welcome. If you're in a different country, you need to find out what the local customs and manners are. Take the time to research that and make sure you do that. When you go to another country, you don't take your US behaviors with you. No. You are a guest in this country. You need to figure out what the norms are and get on board with those norms. So with regards, again, table manners are huge for executives. Anyone, any working person needs to have good table manners. You need to know restaurant etiquette, treat the wait staff well. There's one couple that I go out with and they're so rude to the wait staff. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I never want to go out to eat with them because it's just, I don't want to be associated with that. I was a waitress. It's a hard job. Okay. And if you don't want to wait, don't go to a restaurant. A restaurant is nothing but waiting. You wait for a table, you wait for your drink, you wait for everything the whole time. If you want to be eating, you need to be making your own dinner at home and just eat it. The restaurant is about the experience and the people and the conversation. So don't get frustrated about waiting, or it's like come up with some other activity. And then how you eat. Slow down. You need to chew your food, maybe take smaller bites. Think of all those things. We all know don't talk with your mouth full. That's boring. All right, number 4. Okay, discuss classy topics. What do classy women talk about? Not others. If you need some motivation to stop the gossiping, I have a great, I think I called it How to Have a Better Reputation at Work video. A lot of psychology behind why talking about others is not a good idea for you, but I think we all know. Don't talk about yourself. Nobody wants to hear about it except for your mom. You can call her. Ask people about them. Be interested. Interested in others is a good thing to talk about. Things are kind of boring. It's okay to talk about some things. Events are great to talk about. Talk about events. Fantastic. And why don't you try to learn something? Learn something from the people you're with. They probably have some hobby or some interest outside of what they do, and you could learn something very interesting from someone. So that's usually my goal because I feel like I get something out of it too, and it's a great conversation. And then I believe politics. Politics are not a good topic. We all know that. I love talking about politics. However, I did have a dinner party that went so terribly badly. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. So you might want to just go the safe route and not introduce politics as the topic. And I do have a great video on how to appear smarter than you are, which kind of helps you with that confidence, big picture, but you want to be discussing smart and interesting topics. And the news. The news is great too. You can always talk about what's happening in the news. Tip number 5 is leave things better than they were. Are you going to a restroom? Don't leave stuff. Pick up what you're doing. You could wipe down the counter. Are you an overnight guest at someone's house? Maybe not in the workplace. I don't know. Usually you're staying in hotels, so maybe this is not a work tip. This might be just a woman tip. Not even a woman tip, just a humanity tip. But if you're an overnight guest, make that room look better than it did before. So make the bed, put your stuff away, clean up, make it tidy. If you use the bathroom, make that neat and tidy. Just leave things better than they were. My favorite thing that my husband and my dad do for me is they will take my car and fill it up with gas. That's like the nicest thing anyone can do for me. I hate getting gas. It is such a chore. And I'm always nervous that I'm going to get gas everywhere because sometimes it happens. It's just not my thing. It is so sweet. So fill up someone's tank. I think that's fantastic. Number 6, don't complain. Kate Moss has my favorite quote, don't complain and don't explain. Sometimes you're going to have to explain some context at work, but big picture, just don't complain because nobody wants to hear it. It's such a downer. It's really, really a downer. Number 9 is be smart. So again, watch that video on how to appear smarter than you actually are. But invest in yourself. Take a class, have some kind of a hobby outside of work, be interesting and smart. Always continue and push to learn. 10, we all know this one. I think this kind of goes in that grace bucket, but it's practice posture, makes a huge difference, makes you look thinner and better and more confident. So that's a very easy one to do. Now for events, this is tip number 11. Leave the party on time, especially if it's a work party and especially if it's hosted at someone's house. If they put an end time on that party, leave at that end time. You can obviously, go with the flow a little bit here, but I would do not be the last person to leave. Do not do that. Once I hosted a shower, it's like a 1 p.m. shower, and this group of girls was having such a good time, which I was thrilled about. But they stayed forever. and I have kids, I have other activities I need to do, and it was stressing me out, and it kind of made me not look so fondly on this. So don't overstay your welcome. Pay attention to the end time and know usually most parties are about 4 hours. So just be thoughtful about that. Now, if you're a host, don't start cleaning up. It's rude. It is rude, and I am guilty of this. I do it actually all the time. When I get tired, and I want the party to end, and I want people to get the message to leave. And so I'll start cleaning up. I'll start doing dishes. I'll start doing all sorts of things. And it is so rude. And I know this because I went to a party once. It was a kids' party, and the kids were absolutely out of control. The party was clearly not over, but I think the hostess had for sure had enough and just started like cleaning up all the toys. And it made me so uncomfortable. And I thought I should leave, but it was like, we'd only been there for an hour. So I'm like, shit, is this party like getting canceled or what? So you need to be careful about picking up early. And then if you're having a kid party, expect design. Like my kids are just wild, and the other kids are wild too. Could just be mine, but I'm trying to make myself feel better. Just be thoughtful of the cleaning up. I am number 1 guilty of this. Number 12, accept compliments graciously by saying thank you. We love to discredit the compliment. Don't do that. It ruins it. Totally ruins it. Just say thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's it. That's all you need to do. Number 13 is treat people how to treat you. Help them understand where the line is, like what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And this is an interesting one. This rarely happens, but if I get a really rude and heated email that I do not appreciate, I do not respond. To me, it's a lose-lose. There is no response. If I absolutely must respond, it's usually let's discuss. That's my response. Let's discuss. Because I don't want to get in some heated email debate. Like that is, don't do the email. Don't do the long emails. If you're writing an email longer than a paragraph, something's wrong. Unless it's one of those like I need to send an information type download email where maybe there's some big project or program happening and it's just like one of those, that's fine. But in general, don't get over those heated debates via email, and treat people how to treat you. Like if it's getting out of hand, do a timeout. Got to take a timeout. Okay. Number 14 is have proper grammar. I have a funny story. I was writing a memo, and instead of tactical, I was writing the other one, tactile, which means like touch, like the different, not tactical. And I didn't know. And then later my boss pointed out, and it was like, it was joking. It was totally fine. But know your grammar. A lot of people misuse the you are apostrophe with your and there. There's 3 different theirs. So just be careful. Grammarly is one of my favorite tools that you can download. I'll link it below. I'm sure everyone's heard about it, but it can go into all of your Google Docs, or I believe they could do Word docs as well. I'm not sure. But it will highlight all those errors that we commonly make when we're trying to be effective and efficient and move quickly. Number 15, this is the last one. I don't know how to do 15. If you're not getting what you want in life, look from within, not externally. Watch The Secret. That's one of my first topics that I discussed on this show. But look inside, don't look externally. I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.